Hey, UBO.
Morning, Jonathan.
Hey, Dinesh.
Morning. How are you?
Eric. Good, thank you. Not too bad.
Very
How are you?
good. Good morning, everyone.
How are you, Dinesh?
Oh, well, just got ready this morning. Woke
Just
up this morning. Yesterday was a nice, warm, sunny day, and this morning it suddenly changed. So
yeah, bit of grey sky
it's a little breezy here.
and breezy as well. Okay, we haven't got the wind, but yeah, we've got a lot of damp in the air, certainly.
Good.
That's to match the crypto markets as well, and
I was up last night and I was watching it doing a deep dive, and I'm thinking I'm not ready for this. Switched off and I went to bed.
we were getting ready for it to go the other way. Come on, what's going on?
No, it's one of those things. It's never the right time when it's dipping and you go, I want to get these tokens, but it's never the right time
You
this
just
year.
bought. That's when it drops into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact cause is, but it looks to be around combination of Evergrande, the Chinese property firm. They've filed for bankruptcy with US protection.
It's the stock market driving the sentiment, something like that.
Stock
Possibly.
market, yeah. And there seems to be a lot of speculative news around Bitcoin sale by Tesla as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, apparently Elon has sold. Well, the rumor is 330 million in Bitcoin. I don't know if that's for real though. I don't know whether it's just someone grasping for news, but
I mean that sort of info only comes from the stock market. Sorry, the results, isn't it? When they announce the results rather than mid result.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, so I don't really know. But either way, long term, it's not a biggie. Just
Oh,
means if you
yeah.
do have any cash, now's the time to buy.
Good time. Yeah, it's the wrong time for me at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's always opportunities, so it's not the end.
No, exactly. There are always too many opportunities to count. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh
I think you learn that you can't buy every dip, and every now and then you've got to fall back and wait till you're in the right position to take advantage of the dip.
absolutely. Okay, well, I know that there's a couple of the regulars can't make it today, so I think
Okay.
we'll get started. I have some interesting things to do today, but primarily I want to help anybody who is wanting to get registered to vote in Project Catalyst to be able to go through that process today, final run over it. And UBO is a regular in Cardano Catalyst, so I imagine you're probably already set up, but if you're able to get onto audio now and you've got any questions, do feel to jump in. This is a workshop session rather than a lecture. So interrupt me, ask questions. If you want to do something practical like get registered for Catalyst, then just shout up and I'll stop.
Just
Yeah, I think for me, I really want to know, like, how do I get to be sure that you're registered? Like, okay, you've done the registration. How do you get to know that you're actually registered before the snapshot? Because immediately after the snapshot, you got no other option than to just stick to what is available. What if you didn't do it well or something like?
Good question. And that's perfect because I just released a post on this on this exact thing, so I can talk you through it now.
I've just put on the app. Just switched the app on the Fun10 app, and it says important date. 12 hours to go. 12 hours 22 minutes to go until registration close.
Exactly. This is our final window to make sure we've got everything buttoned down and ready to get our snapshot of our voting power. So if you've got the app open, the Catalyst voting app open, this is the safest way to do it at the moment. And I join, I think I need to log out of Zoom to share my screen. Oh well, I'll just describe it. So yeah, in your voting, Catalyst voting app, if you go to the help and support button at the bottom right, and in fact, I've got some pictures of this. So let me share screen. And then once you've clicked on that bottom right help and support button, you should be able to see, if you scroll down, perhaps you should be able to see my wallet ID.
Yes.
I go to here. So this is the screen we're looking for. So you clicked on help and support, number one, and then you can click the little copy icon, number two, on my wallet ID.
And that.
And then the next step is to go to the web browser. You can do this from your mobile phone as well. That's the simplest way to do it. And look for adastat.net. And this is a Cardano Explorer that is doing really good work. It sort of got to my attention only this year, which is quite...
Can you put the link there in the chat?
Sure.
All right.
I can find my chat box. And these guys, I think they might be based out of Russia. Probably one guy even, building really, really well. And he was the one who produced the dashboard for the stake pool operator poll that was run by Cardano Foundation earlier this year to see what the parameter changes should be for stake pool operators. So that's how I got to know about him first, actually, which is quite late. But he's also got this really good Cardano Explorer search engine. So if you paste in your wallet ID that you grabbed from the Catalyst voting app into adastats.net's search bar, then it will bring up your Catalyst wallet ID search results. And on there, it'll list your actual voting power as well.
I'm just looking for that search. So I've gone on to explore internet browser, typed in adastat.net. It's brought me up with a screen with ADA price, circulating supply, holders, etc. Where's the search?
The top left is a little search box in dark blue on the dark blue banner. If you've gotten dark mode on, or you can go for light mode, and it's a light gray on white. Very top left, there's like a little heart icon next to it.
Right. It's not on the mobile. I'll go on to the laptop browser.
You can do it from mobile as well. What does mobile look like? On mobile, it's a button on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, search. I found it at
search,
the bottom. Yeah, found it.
a quick search on there. In fact, I can probably
Yeah.
show you what to do.
All right, so it's given me voting registration, Catalyst wallet ID, voting power accounts. Okay. Yeah, I've got that now.
You see that now? Cool.
Yeah.
So it should tell you all the balance of the ADA that you've got in your vote in your wallet that's registered to vote.
Yeah.
And then you can paste your wallet ID in there and it'll show up. So Ubia, did that work for you?
Yeah, it's working for me.
Cool. So you've got all your ADA balance you expect.
Yeah.
Nice. There's another way as well. If you wanted another reassurance, although this one is ties in correctly with my actual one, and it's reading from on-chain data, so it's going to be accurate. The other one, let me jump back to here, is a new tool being produced by the Project Catalyst team themselves. They're releasing tech at a great rate, a really fast rate. And at the moment, they've got this testnet app that is safe to use. I trust this one, but I must add a note of caution. The QR code from your voting app, and if somebody scans that QR code and reads the hash from it as well, then that is a sensitive piece of information, because effectively that is the private key for your voting power. So if anybody wants to vote, they just need to get hold of your key, and then they can actually cast your votes for you. So don't share it around. Don't upload it into random websites unnecessarily. Only be very sure of what you're doing with that QR code or with the hash or the text that you find when you read that QR code. You can also find that hash by looking in your Yoroi mobile app or any other wallet. That will appear on the voting tab, I think, if you've registered to vote through that wallet. So yeah, be careful which website you're putting in. So the website that is safety that I trust is the verified.testnet.projectcatalyst.io, and I'll drop that into the chat as well, because that is built by the Catalyst team. Project Catalyst.io domain on there has been releasing their tools for a long time now, so that's quite trustworthy. Eric, I'll get onto your question in 1 second. That's the other link. So in here now, you can actually use so if you've done it from the mobile phone, you can use that to then scan your computer screen if you've got your QR code on your computer screen, or if you've got a webcam on your computer, you can then point that at another screen to read, so maybe the QR code from your mobile, or if you've got the screenshot of your QR code, you can download that to your computer and then upload it into this website here. But actually, I found the easiest way is just to grab the hash code from the QR code itself. So I will use my camera app on my phone to scan the QR code, and then you can put it into text detection mode, and it will pull out the text from that QR code, and then you can paste that into this paste your own mobile code button. So you paste that in there. I'm not actually going to do it on screen because it will show the world my my voting key. So if I do that down here, it'll then ask you for your PIN. So you can see it. So then it's asking for your PIN. The PIN is one you'll have set up when you are registering to vote. So enter that, and then it will bring up your voting power. That's another way to verify what your exact voting power will be. Now, I got really high voting power because I've got a stake pool operator bond of 1 million ADA. So that's very fortunate for me, but I am paying for that privilege. And one other thing that I've managed to conquer this week was actually doing multiple wallet aggregation into a single vote power, which is a feature that's coming to the general populace very soon, probably by next fund 11. At the moment, it's kind of just accessible by people who are comfortable with the command line. So anybody can do it, but you have to have the tech skills to do it. So this requires a bit of Linux command line knowledge. But what it's meant is that I can actually take all my soft wallets and my stake pool owner wallets and bring all those addresses back down onto a single voting address, which is really nice. So suddenly, instead of having to every voting round having to go and find all the different wallets, register them, get a QR code for each of them, and then when it comes to voting, find all my list of votes that I want to cast, and then load the QR code into the voting at once, find all those proposals, click vote, unload that QR code, load up the next one, find all those proposals again, cast my vote. It was a right pain, absolute nightmare. So what I was recommending people to do now, if you want to avoid that, is to just move all your ADA from, if you've got multiple wallets, move the ADA from those wallets into a single wallet for today. And then when the snapshot is taken tonight at, well, for me it'll be tonight, 9 UTC, 9 p.m. UTC, which for us will be 10 p.m. in the UK. And probably, yeah, anyway. So leave your ADA all aggregated in a single wallet for then, and then you'll maximize your voting snapshot power. And then straight afterwards, you can take your ADA and move it back out again. Probably give it an hour, just make sure that it's all registered and the snapshot's been taken satisfactorily, but that's a good way of doing it and reducing your workload when it comes to actually casting votes. I'll drop this link onto this tutorial as well, so you can reference it later or pass it on to people. And hopefully that answers your questions. Any more on that, UBO or Dinesh?
So what you've just done is we've gone into the app, voting app, got the Catalyst wallet ID, gone on to a web browser with adastat.net and did a search, so it tells me what my voting power registration is, voting registration is, with the balance.
Yeah.
And I've just missed that what you did on the Catalyst website, testnet.
Okay.
Is that purely just to obtain to get a feel for what your voting power is at the moment?
Yes. That's just a second method of confirming your voting power.
Oh,
So this,
method, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So this figure that's showing up on AdaStat, that's trustworthy. That's correct. And then if you want to verify it, you can go on to do it on the testnet as well.
Okay. So the main thing I'm noticing on the testnet, you've got the voting power in terms of that number there, 11 something there, and then on the app that I've got, it tells me the voting power in terms of number of ADA I've got. That,
Yes.
yeah, like that one there.
Yeah.
So there's two different currencies there, isn't there?
No, it's the same actually. So that's saying 1.13 million ADA.
ADA, yeah.
On AdaStat.
Yeah.
And here, that is actually 1.13. It's not got commas in, so it's hard to read, but that's 1.13 million.
Oh, I see.
Well. And so the interest that's the good correlation, or an interesting point to talk about, is that your vote power is exactly the same as the amount of ADA that you hold. So for a wallet to be valid for the snapshot, for the voting snapshot, you need to have more than 500 ADA in that wallet, as one thing. And then also, the really interesting point is that actually, yes, ADA or Cardano really is a plutocratic state at the moment. So that means that your voting power, your say in the community, is as strong as the amount of money you hold in that community. So if you hold more ADA, you have a louder voice than if you hold less ADA. And that's the way things are currently. And it's something that I personally want to move away from as soon as possible, and there's lots of other in the community who want to as well, because certainly when you're in a national voting system, then really it's one person, one vote. That's what they're trying to achieve, and I think that's a better ideal to head towards than the richest having the largest voices. Early days in the community, it's a very valid thing to do, because there's a whole lot of technical hurdles to actually overcome to get to the point where we can register individual humans in a blockchain space. And actually, if you put in a load of your hard-earned cash from the fiat world into Cardano, into ADA, then you deserve a certain solid voice, because it means you're trusting the ecosystem, you're an early adopter, you're investing in it, you want to see it flourish. So your decisions, your choices will be to benefit that ecosystem rather than to hurt it, is the premise. But as the ecosystem grows, then people will be finding opportunities to take money out, and the decision making about the future of the community should be down to individual opinion and experience in the space, rather than just the wealthiest getting the loudest voices.
Yeah.
Is my take.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Cool. So there was another question dropped on the Zoom chat, which I'll cover now, from Eric. I just want to ask about the A-Starter situation. Is it working? Does he have to do anything? Does Eric need to do anything? And to answer that, I think Eric's dropped off the call now, but there's nothing we can do at the moment, no additional work we need to do. A-Starter have got a ISPO running at the moment. So if you are delegated to one of their pools, I can't even remember what it's called now, thinking about it. If you're delegated to one of their pools, then you are eligible for the AA token when that launches. We are now in the second phase, which is transitioning from their single pool into the partner pools, actually earning you AA tokens. So if you are a delegated to Fluid Pool, for example, or any of these other communities that do have state pools, so these guys down the bottom, particularly Degas, Yoada, Capital State Pool, Cool, and Fluid Pool, they all are partners of A-Starter, and they run stake pools, so you can stake to those to start earning AA tokens. And there's a full list of all the SPOs underneath here. Ada for Good, Oleum, Degas, Easy Stake, ECP, and Apex. These are good friends of mine. They're all eligible for earning AA rewards in the ISPO. And the additional, as a partner pool, the additional bonus we had was that we actually were able to get into the pre-token sale. So that's closed now. Eric took part in it, which is why he's asking. So we were able to buy in, reserve some AA tokens at a special price before it launches. But the launch of the token itself has been delayed. It was hoped for, expected at the start of the year, but it's been pushed back. So we're now waiting for. And I personally think that the wait is around the launch of the USDA stablecoin, because A-Starter is a team that is supported, backed by Emergo, which is one of the founding entities of Cardano. Emergo are responsible for bringing the fiat-backed stablecoin USDA to the Cardano blockchain space. And because of the regulatory pressures that have come about this year on stablecoins, they're delaying the launch of the USDA token. So there is no set date for that launch yet. And as a result, I think it's delayed the launch of the decentralized exchange that A-Starter have built, and also the launch of their AA token, because that's probably correlated in some way, shape, or form. But they're engaging people in the community already by running an ISPO. You won't actually have the token in your wallet, but they have got on-chain records of who is owed what when. Actually, I don't know if it's on-chain, thinking about it. I think it's maybe a private database, but currently they are gathering data on who is owed what of their token launch. So yeah, you'll benefit from that by being part of the Fluid Pool staking delegators. That covers Eric's question.
Does that also include new stake poolers?
Say again, sorry.
Does that also include new stake pool, like people that are just joining the Fluid Pool, like newly?
So you won't be able to buy into the token sale, but you can certainly start delegating to Fluid Pool, and then when the token is launched, you'll benefit from what's called their merge staking offering. So anybody that is staked to delegated to one of their pools can earn a portion of AA tokens based on how much ADA they hold. I think it does have a requiring of holding some of the AA token, but I will be distributing bonus AA token rewards because I bought into it earlier, so I can offer that AA token as an incentive to delegators. So yes, by staking the Fluid Pool, then you get access to that AA token as well. Of course, this is all a very speculative space. Nobody knows which tokens are going to do well, which ones are not. But it's a way to incentivize people to start joining into the ecosystem, getting involved in some of the trickier sides of things, because really Cardano is very capable at the hardest bits of blockchain. So making sure it's scalable, it is secure, it is able to grow with the community and be managed by the community rather than be managed by the founding organizations. So we're in the era of Voltaire now, where we're really starting to work hard at bringing the decision making about changes to the blockchain, changes to the community's parameters into the hands of the community rather than leaving in the hands of IOG or Cardano Foundation or Emergo. So there are lots of opportunities to get involved in governance, and we've seen them this year already with the SIP 1694 workshop. SIPs are Cardano improvement proposals. 1694 is the number given to the one that's talking about governance, mostly about governance, so setting up a constitution and organizations that will have power within decision making. So that's the stake pool operators and large investors in groups with their intersect members-based organization, and then community groups running education or building up in the Cardano ecosystem, all will have a say in how the chain is set up, how its incentive mechanisms set up, how the parameters are tweaked over time. So yeah, these are the good tricky things of blockchain that we're not quite nailed yet anywhere in the world. But I think Cardano's got a really strong position in working that through. And so these tokens that you can get hold of from platforms like Tap Tools and Drip Drops, Tosi Drop, Tap Tools stop there, it's token distribution. Tosi Drop and Drip Drops are the main guys at the moment. Smart Claims even finished. But these tokens, these community tokens, we don't really know on the price of them long term, but it is an incentive to get hold of them. If anything follows history, then token price can drastically increase, like we've seen on Ethereum blockchain. But yes, this is a guess. It's guesswork really at the moment. Well, if you're interested in tokens, then look for projects that are building, that have got real functionality, teams of people working and focusing, and then see if you can get hold of their token through various means. And so Fluid Pool, we've partnered to release various tokens over our time so far. So Machiavellic is a game being built on Cardano. We've got hold of we got into their pre-launch token sale as well. So I'll be issuing some Machiavellic tokens as they're released. NewNet is a decentralized infrastructure project for artificial intelligence. They're trying to democratize the serving of AI engines, and they're building on Cardano, and they've got a token that you could earn if you were staked to Fluid Pool. This is the A Starter Partner project that I was just talking about. You'll get some AA tokens as well. And so yeah, there's various token offerings over time. as I participate in ISPOs and not. So yeah, these are all incentives to help stake pool operators run their pools. The more delegators you have, the more viable your pool is, the more blocks you'll earn, and the more trusted an operator in the ecosystem you appear to be. So that's why I do it as Fluid7, my web agency. But I'm also just fascinated by the opportunities for the future about bringing power to the individual, really breaking down borders in terms of the ability to generate wealth, and everyone's quality of life to be increased as a result of blockchain adoption. There was something I was going to move on to from here.
I put a question in, Jonathan.
Yeah, please do.
So your one of the messages on Discord in the midweek, and went on to Tosi Drop, I think it is, and I put my Eternal Wallet address in, and then I saw some MAC tokens available to me. Now, so is that, if I just go through that very quickly again on my laptop while we're on, I'll just see what I can. So receive address. Basically, I should then copy a receive address, go into Toasty Drop,
Right, yeah.
Paste in my address, check my reward. Right, it says MAC tokens. If I click MAC token, claim reward.
I'll just mirror what you're doing.
All right, so I've copied my address,
well.
receive address.
So in your Eternal Wallet, you've gone into the Receive tab, and you've grabbed your receive address.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I've gone into Toasty Drop.
Pasted your receive address into there.
Check my rewards.
Check my rewards.
Right, so I've seen, in my case, I've just got the MAC token block.
Excellent. Yeah. I picked mine up yesterday. In fact, so the MAC token is part of the Machiavellic, is a token as one of the tokens within the Machiavellic game, and I think it's worthwhile getting. They're a good team, building well. So yeah, you can now on this platform you'll be spending a little bit of your ADA, to get these MAC tokens back, or any of the tokens that you think might be worthwhile. So you are relinquishing some ADA on a speculative coin, because we don't know whether that game will succeed or not. But you know, we're really talking about pennies or cents to the dollar. So worthwhile in my opinion. So yeah. Then you you check your order, and if this was Mac, you'd click it.
Yeah.
And it outlines it.
Yeah. I click on claim my reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, bottom right. It's got a scan code. Yeah, it's got that. So what do I do?
So there are two ways of completing this transaction. You can either do a normal send transaction in Eternal Wallet. So you would take this deposit address, copy that.
Yeah.
Go to the send tab of your wallet, paste that in there, and then back in Toasty Drop, you would get the exact balance. So the exact amount they're asking you to send is important, because they use that to track against your wallet address that's capable of receiving the token. Actually, the exact balance doesn't matter, but the wallet that you're actually doing the claim for must match. So you put that balance in, and then you send and sign. There is another way, which actually is slightly easier. And that way is in Eternal Wallet, you just connect your DApp connector. So this button here, the plugs.
Yeah.
Click that, it'll turn green, and that means that this application is now allowed to talk to decentralized applications like ToSiDrop.
Right. Mm-hmm.
One other thing to double check, perhaps if it's new to you, so more for the benefit of the recording, you can go to wallet settings and turn on this thing called collateral. So make sure that is turned on, and that will take a portion of your ADA holdings and lock them up in the wallet in a UTXO with no other tokens attached to it, and that's then used by the decentralized applications to ensure that they're able to perform transactions. It doesn't get spent, doesn't get lost or anything, but it's locked up for the benefit of the application to interact with. So once you've switched on make sure your collateral is on, switched on your dApp connector, you can go back to ToSiDrop and then click the Connect Wallets button top right. That will then pop up an offering of Eternal or Yoroi, depending on what wallets you've got working for you. So I'll click Eternal. It's then popped up this little dApp connector confirmation screen. So this is conforming to SIP 30, the Cardano Improvement Proposal 30. It doesn't mention the name of it here anymore. Interesting. You can say connect to site. You're not signing any transactions yet, but you'll be able to be offered transactions to sign once you've done that. So then in the user interface for ToSiDrop, it's showing you a portion of your address in the top right. Got the little Eternal icon, so that way you know that you've connected to your Eternal wallet. And then the other thing that's changed in the user interface is that it's now giving you a little send ADA button underneath the QR code. So if you've got your dApp connector working, you'll see that button. And then it's a very simple process. You don't have to go to your wallet to create the transaction. You don't have to scan the QR code or take the deposit address and the balance. You can just click the send ADA button and it will form the transaction for you and give you a transaction signing window to actually then just sign the transaction. So again, before you sign any transaction, what I recommend you do, and Eternal's great for this because it gives you full insight into it, is start to look at the transaction, how it's formed. And it's, you don't have to understand it all straight away. Just do it each time and you'll start to absorb little bits of more information each time. That's the way I do it. Learning by osmosis. Immerse yourself in it and you'll pick things up over time. And so it shows you in red the things most important to look out for is that's what's leaving your wallet. So actually I've got my wallet balances hidden. So I'm gonna just do that again so I can actually see the balances. So now when I look in here, it'll show you how much ADA is leaving my wallet in red, or how many other tokens are leaving your wallet at the same time as well. So that's a really good one to look at. I'll look for the red numbers first because that's how much you're spending, and that should tie in with what you're expecting. So we're sending out 3.37 ADA. 0.17 of that is the transaction fee. That it's just the general fee that you pay to the blockchain to use it.
Yeah.
And that comes back to you in staking rewards, by the way, so you're not actually losing out. And then the rest is going to the platform. So you're sending 3.2 ADA to ToSiDrop. You'll be getting some tokens back, as well as your MAC tokens back, if you've done anything correctly. So,
so on my screen it says fee 1 ADA.
Yeah.
On the ToSiDrop screen. When I click the receive, you send 3.2 ADA. I'll get back 1.56 ADA.
Cool. Yeah. So that's saying that they're now when you're sending native tokens on Cardano blockchain, there's always a certain amount of ADA that has to travel with them. So that some of that is coming back to you, and ToSiDrop's telling you about that. So that will be the 2.46 you get back.
Right.
So in my instance, it was going to be £3.22 go out, 2.46 will be coming back.
Okay.
0.1 ADA is going to TosiDrop as a platform fee. 0.17 is going to the blockchain as a transaction fee.
Right. So that varies over time, doesn't it?
Depends on which tokens you're collecting, and so yeah, so on and so forth. So each token will have a contract with TosiDrop to release to release their token with certain contractual rights. So how much the project wants to receive back from the TosiDrop platform, if anything, or whether they're just giving their token for free, will determine on what fees TosiDrop are charging down here. But it's worth keeping an eye on, because you may end up with, you know, larger amounts than you really want.
Okay.
But yeah, if this is all tallies up with what you're expecting, then you should be fine to just do that. So I've got transaction £3.20, which if I wanted to sign, I would sign, but I don't want Wolf tokens, so I'm not going to. Hi, Waldy, welcome. Or
So, Jonathan, I got to drop by. I want to know, like, apart from the Fleet token handle on Twitter, do you have any other handle?
So in terms of the stake pool handle, that's my Fluid is my ticker. So if you're an internal and you wanted to stake with us, is this what you're asking about?
Sorry, I didn't get you. I had a call that interrupted me.
Okay. So in terms of handle, I think of two things automatically. You've got your wallet handle, which is from the ADA handle team, and then I've also got a ticker, which is my Fluid pools. How you would stake to Fluid pool. So I don't know which one you were asking about.
No. I mean, like, how to connect to you personally, like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you want to get onto my Discord, I'll drop the link into the chat. That's the best way to connect.
Okay.
Join the Discord server, and then you can find my direct message very easily. I'm J on there.
All right.
And then yeah, anytime you want to connect and talk, drop into there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining, Ubia. That's cool.
Thank you.
Waldy, yeah, this is like an open workshop. Any questions you have around anything Cardano, just drop in, and I'll try and answer if I know.
I'm just here to learn at the moment. It's all new to me. I'm just observing and checking you out, and the questions will come up as I'm looking at what's happening. So I'm just paying attention.
Perfect. That's the best way to do it. I was just talking about that. Learning for me is about immersing yourself in it and hoping some bleeds into my brain. So osmosis is the way to learn. Cool. So does that cover your questions, Dinesh, around?
Yeah, I'm just going through the process now. So I've got to a point. So just checking the wallet. Collateral, it's on. Apply to all accounts, it's on. Fees, what did you say? Check the fees.
So the fees will show up in the transaction signing window.
Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I've got. It says deposit 2.3 ADA. Then I've got fee now 0.1. I'll send 2.3 ADA. I'll get back 1.56, and the transaction fee 0.44. Processing fee 0.2 ADA. And token selected 1 token, so I'm going to send it now. Coming into my it's coming into my I've got to sign in. Pending password.
Yeah, so that will be to actually sign the transaction and issue it to the blockchain. And so when you've got a wallet, just for general information, when you've got a wallet, you need your seed phrase, which is the crucial information, and determines exactly if you lose your seed phrase, effectively you've given your money away. So your seed phrase is really important. Never share it with anybody. Have it backed up somewhere. Write it down in the physical world, and try to keep it on a hardware wallet if you're able to do that, or an air-gapped machine, something like that. So an air-gapped machine is a computer with no internet access, no network connections. no Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC, all those switched off. And that's a good way to store your seed phrases. And then your spending passphrase is when you import your seed phrase into a wallet software like Eternal, Yoroi, Giro, Typhon, Flint. There's a whole load of wallets out there, all of them very, very, very good. You can load your seed phrase into those, any of those, and you can do them multiple wallets at the same time, and they all refer to the same point on the blockchain. So that's one thing to get your head around, is that all your wallet is doing is pointing at the blockchain and reading and writing to the blockchain. It's software. It doesn't hold any funds in reality. The blockchain does. And your seed phrase is the key to making changes to the blockchain. So anybody that has the seed phrase can make change to the blockchain, including moving funds around. So that's why it's so important to keep your seed phrase safe. When you import your seed phrase into a wallet, a hot wallet like Eternal, then it asks you to create a spending password as well. And your spending password is the, again, secure, keep it safe, but it's not as critical as your seed phrase. They need to have your actual signed in wallet to be able to, and computer probably, to be able to use your spending password. If they have the seed phrase, they can do it from their own machine anywhere in the world at any point in time. So your spending password is used every time you sign a transaction, which is when you are writing to the blockchain. So you're making a change to the blockchain data set. And that typically will be about sending some ADA or some tokens from one wallet to another, one address to another. And so that's what you're doing when you sign a transaction. So always pay attention when you are signing something in a wallet window like this. Is how much is leaving your wallet in red, and any other tokens that are leaving as well will be in white next to that, and how much you're paying to the blockchain itself in fees, and then over time you can start to learn what these UTXOs, inputs and outputs, are all about. And again, I say it most weeks, it's a brief comparison between Cardano's blockchain structure. It is more like cash than a bank account. So you are, within your wallet, you're holding certain denominations of cash. Like if you're holding a £20 note, when you buy something, you give over your whole £20 and you get change back. That's what it is like to interact with the Cardano blockchain. When you're spending, you're actually spending a whole chunk of ADA at one point and getting change back. And that's what these inputs and outputs are really describing. And if you want to learn more, then ask. Otherwise, I'll stop talking about it.
Right. So on my Tosi drop, Jonathan, the status is processing transactions. So there's a thing that, oh, it's just completed, transaction successful. Your token will arrive soon. So if I go into my Eternal wallet, do I look into token list? Ah, right, token list is arrived. It's arrived.
Perfect. So in there, you'll see the tokens arrive, and you'll know that you've successfully claimed some MAC. So you're now the proud owner of some MAC tokens. Good job, Dinesh.
So I'll just sit on these MAC token, and then in the future, if I feel like selling them, I can sell them, or can I use them elsewhere?
Exactly, yeah.
Or
So
swap them or sell them.
Now you are a
Proud owner.
proud owner of and a proud investor in the Machiavellic game. You can go and start paying attention to I can never spell Machiavellic.
It's very odd spelling. That is Machiavelli.
Single L, is it?
Double L-I-C.
Double L. I thought it was double L. Oh, let me find it in previous link. I did spell it right. I just don't have the Machiavellic.io, should have guessed. So this is the game. I'll drop the link into the chat if anybody's interested. And this is a community project. It's had some Catalyst funding in the past. And if you They've also run token sales, so you can actually buy game characters, avatars that you can then use in the game when it launches. They have a whole load of writing, good copywriting about the backstory of the environment for the game. They've got some really good artwork. I love their artwork. Very good aesthetic. And they're plowing in the hours to get the work done. Really exciting to see. They also run partner pools with some. They've got a good decentralized mindset, in that they're incentivizing single stake pool operators to be partners of them, to then benefit from earning the MAC token. And all these guys are really good operators in the space as well. So very encouraging to see. And the token, the MAC token itself, can be used in game down the road. And then also, you know, because this is the game, this is the token that you'll be earning when you play the game, but it's a real world, a native token on Cardano. You can actually then exchange it on the dexes, so you can transfer your hours of playing games into real exchangeable tokens outside of the game, which is the whole sort of play to earn, play for earning movement that we're era that we're starting now, with tying value storage into our gaming environments. So yeah, have a read around the MAC site. It's very interesting. A load of good, interesting information. They got a light paper that talks about the tokenomics as well, that you can actually read up about now. So I'll drop that into the chat as well. Cool.
Great, thank you.
They also have a Discord server if you want to get into the community. So you'll find that from their, I think it's an footer down the bottom, Discord. And Paul, another regular, he's not here today. He's in a corporate box at a rugby game. He was offered free food and drink rugby game.
That, can you?
So yeah, I don't blame him for not turning up today. But he's a regular on the Machiavellic Discord, and yeah. So they're I don't know if their token sales are open still as well, but they did have some limited run tokens that you could get before the game launched. And actually, they've got a dashboard. That was one thing I wanted to look at. They've released a dashboard, or they're talking about releasing a dashboard, and I haven't actually seen it yet. So if anybody does find that, because I don't see it linked off the site yet, do give me a shout. Probably in the Discord server. Yeah, I'll have a look later. But yeah, really good project. Exciting.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Pleasure. So one other project that I've talked about in the past that is doing some exciting things, book.io. They've got a tremendous domain name for starters. Book.io is great. They're building on Cardano. They also are starting to operate multi-chain, and they are a NFT platform that actually has NFTs for books. At the moment, they're just doing it with books that are out of copyright. So they are classic novels mostly. You can get hold of the NFT versions of them, which are complete ebooks. So you've got an on-chain record of that ebook, and one person owns that version of it at any one time. We're hoping this moves into actual current novels and fact books as well as fiction, but that's not happening yet. And so actually it'll come to the point where instead of paying for subscription service to a platform like Amazon's Kindle, where in fact if you stop paying your subscription, you lose access to your entire collection of books, which is a significant problem in my mind, because Amazon is a private entity. It has to conform with the rules of the nation that it's in. So if you have any banned books, for example, Amazon can't sell them in those nations, which I don't think should be in the hands of a government or a single organization, because that's how freedom books are banned in certain cultures. So you really need to have learning open, accessible to everyone, and you as an individual form your own opinions and censor what you should and shouldn't be reading, based on your own moral standing or whatnot. So the fact that Amazon can restrict your books, the government can control what Amazon is actually allowing you to see, is an issue in my mind. And you're paying a subscription service, so you're always going to paying for access to your own books. Whereas with a platform like this, with the blockchain, you can store your books as NFTs on chain. You'll always have access to them if you own them. And of course, you can sell your books. So it returns books to the secondary market. So instead of them all being in the hands of Amazon or any of the other book providers out there, it starts to get into the hands of the individual again. The authors can direct publish to on-chain stores. You as a reader can go in and purchase a book, enjoy it, and then sell that book on if you so choose. So you've grown the learning. That resale can actually have a portion of the sale funds going to the original author again as well. So actually, the authors can benefit long term, create ongoing revenue streams. They're not beholden to a centralized service like Amazon for their earnings, and it creates a whole new marketplace for knowledge, which is really good. On the back of that, they have got a native token, which their ethos around it is that the more you read, the more of their token you will earn, which will then give you credits to go back and spend to buy more books. So you have a sort of circular economy starting to grow of you benefit by learning, and you earn the token, which allows you to earn more, to learn more. And I like that model as well. And it gives people who don't have access to funds, developing countries, the ability to get hold of learning that is maybe behind a paywall in new and interesting ways. So I think as this grows, I mean, it's very early days. All this is public access material anyway, so the fact that they're NFTs doesn't really mean an awful lot yet. But as adoption grows, as they start to get into commercial deals with publishers, then we'll see fact and fiction books turning up on here that are not accessible other than by paying for them. And so actually, if you're able to earn book tokens, and then get hold of a book you really want to get access to, that can really start to bring power of learning to individuals who don't have access to it through the money they earn, because there's a whole discrepancy in money earning levels around the world that can be balanced out by platforms like this. So exciting times. They've got a reasonable, I won't say it's a great ebook reader now that you can get as part of it. So I have their ebook reader on my phone. I've bought because their NFTs, they have an NFT sale, so I bought one of the books. It's called The Metal Monster, which I haven't finished reading yet, but I have started. And so I can, because I've got the NFT in my wallet, I connect the wallet with my ebook reader, and then I can read the books that are mine. So all the books are actually mine. I can actually see them in my wallet. I can see them in my ebook reader, and then if I sell them, I can receive funds for them and move on. So a very good sort of concept. And they have a token sale going on at the moment, which I thought, I actually put in a couple hundred ADA or something. I think it's a minimum of $100. So I must put a couple $100 into their book token. They've got an interesting sale mechanism for it. They have I think it's a half-hour window or something like that. Oh, no, actually, I don't know how long the window is, but every time that window closes, the token price rises slightly. So the token will get more expensive over time through this sale. You can see we're about 55% of the way through the amount of tokens that they're selling by this mechanism. So it's kind of a little teaser to get you into buying their token. And of course, the encouraging thing is that when you buy, if you come back in a day's time, you'll see that the price has gone up a little bit, which kind of makes you feel good. Now that price is manufactured. It's not a real market price. The real market price will be set by the marketplaces like the DEXs. So yeah, buyer beware, but get informed if you like. You know, and I'm a big advocate of encouraging projects that you like their ethic. Encourage them by participating in their NFT sales, in their token sales. Put some money into their ecosystem will help them reach viability, reach sustainability. So it can be an ethical or moral ethical decision as well as a financial one, to encourage people in the ecosystem who are building. Cool. Let me jump back to my notes, see what else I was going to talk about. Anytime you've got a question, jump in, please. And that could be about anything. I want to cover voting, Catalyst voting registration as well. So if anybody hasn't registered to vote for Catalyst, then do perk up, and I'll help you, handhold you through that. So we have looked at the book token sale. We've looked at Catalyst voting power. The other thing that I thought was interesting, and probably one for the nerds, is I found this link from from a guy I'm following on Twitter. I don't know how old this is, probably far older than, and I should have come across it earlier, but IOHK, the guys who build a tech for Cardano blockchain, they've got a sort of a game that helps you explore some of the technical concepts behind Ouroboros. Ouroboros is the consensus mechanism within Cardano. And so that's how you have multi-parties running stake pools, running nodes on the network, and how the technology is used to verify that the data stored on the network is trustworthy, is unchanged, and is 100% correct. And so this is a mechanism to help explore and start to grasp the concepts of how on earth that consensus mechanism works. And it's, you don't have to understand it. You just have to appreciate the beauty of the work that they've done into putting this thing together, because it is a stunning bit of development. So they have these blocks. They have a tutorial that you can run through. So when you come to do this yourself, if you do come and have a play, I'll drop the link into the chat again. And all these links I store on the Discord server as well. So there's a link to the Discord earlier in the chat. I'll repeat it here as well. And you can come back and grab any of these links from these calls at any point from my Discord server. So I'm going to exit the tutorial just to run through these things. Effectively, what you've got are blocks. So every time Fluid Pool is given the opportunity to mint a block, then Fluid Pool earns a reward, and that's how you're able to earn interest on your ADA. So here we've got a representation of these blocks being released over time on the blockchain. So we've got a block there, and you've got 6 slots, 6 of these blocks that you're allowed to click into to try and act as a bad actor on the platform. So you can say, I'm going to corrupt. If the next block that comes to me, I'm going to corrupt it. And then the third one after that, I'm going to corrupt that. And then the 5th one after that, I'm going to corrupt that. And you get 6 opportunities. And this is representing if there was a rogue stake pool operator out there who was being given the opportunity to mint a block and then deciding to introduce some incorrect transactions in there. So say I'm going to try and double spend some of the ADA in my wallet. Then actually as a stake pool operator, then I have the ability to try and do that. But this is demonstrating the resilience of the network to be able to detect bad operators and kick them out. So ignore the blocks that they're producing and only produce good blocks. So if I then go through to run this as a demonstration, you can see how by introducing a bad block, it forks the chain and splits them off into 2 different versions of the chain. And so what we need to try and maintain in the network, we need to try and maintain one single source of knowledge. So that will be the longest chain and that's where we actually read from to check how much balance you've got in your wallet at any one time. And so these little forks are when a chain is split, because there's a bad actor, and its data content is different from the main chain, because maybe they've put a double spend in there, or they've slowed things down to try and get a better price, or they're trying to front run a decentralized exchange transaction. These are all bad behaviors, and so it will create a fork in the chain, and they're trying to persuade other people to base the next block on their bad block rather than on the good block. So you get these little forks, and they may run for a couple of blocks. They may, this guy, this good operator actually built his block on a bad one, and the one after him, he got given a block as well, and he built it on this guy because he was trusting him. But what happens is that over time, there's another version of the chain running, and that's actually seemed to be the longest chain, and therefore the most correct set of data. And any bad transactions are written out of it, and so this bad block doesn't then get written onto chain. So even though it was corrupted here, a bad block was corrupted here, nobody wrote on top of that one, and so it wasn't adopted on chain. This one, someone did write on top of it, but their chain was then discarded because nobody else followed it on from there. And so actually you end up with a long chain of good blocks rather than short chains of bad blocks. And this can be, one of the mechanisms in there is how rapidly you settle good blocks versus bad blocks. And so you can tweak those parameters and start to see the impact. If we trust blocks after 2 iterations, then you start to see, okay, these bad chains are forming. After 0, then so how you get more. But actually, if you just go to wait for 3 blocks to come, then we've managed to eliminate all those bad blocks. It's a very cool mechanism. And then the third screen actually shows you a longer chain of these blocks, and how the settlement delay actually plays into it. So this is just one of the security parameters within the chains that you can play with to actually see how often forks are created. And these mini forks then, even with a settlement of only 1, all those bad blocks are actually eliminated. But you do have more micro forks hanging around for a time. So yeah, interesting. Again, it's sort of learning by osmosis. Go on.
Yeah, Jonathan, that looks like the made into visualization of the Byzantine general problem, isn't it?
Exactly.
On the course, the blockchain course video, I've just recognized your description of the longest chain and the Byzantine general corruption problem.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's it. So this is the consensus mechanism is built to try and circumnavigate the problems that are raised within the Byzantine general problem. So yeah, that's a really good correlation between visualizations that someone's trying to produce here and educational courses, materials that are out there.
Yeah,
these sorts of initiatives are valuable because they just start to tie things together in your brain when you're trying to learn. So
yeah,
have a play. Did I drop the link in? I did. Yeah, it's up there as well. And actually, that's a good shout out to promote the blockchain course. Remember the URL. Superb. So if you haven't if you are interested in blockchain, you can actually go and earn yourself a blockchain certificate to show your level of learning. If you pass this course, it should take about 3 hours. I'm not sure how long it took me actually, but I spread out over several weeks. So you can go to that link, sign up for a course. It's put together by the Cardano Foundation, and the content is really high quality. I found it a really engaging course. I was able to keep me enthused the whole time. The presentation quality is top notch, and the course material is all really well vetted by engineers of the chain itself. So a really good source of education material from one of the founding entities of Cardano. Of course, I've got twice as many extremely good community education courses that I want to point you at as well. And so when I plug the education from CF, I also plug Gimbal Labs as well, which is my preferred place of learning. So check out Gimbal Labs, follow them on Twitter. And their website. They have workshop sessions a couple of times a week. They have playground, big ideas, investigation a couple of times, once a week as well. And James Dunseith, the guy who sort of heads up the educational material, is ex-high school teacher, really top-notch educator. I learned better from him than from anybody else I've had teaching me in life. So that's an endorsement. That's their Twitter feed, Gimbal Labs, Twitter handle, and then their website is here. And you can check out their events. We're in the summer break at the moment, so they're running Carnival, where you can join that call and talk about anything you want. And then they have more scheduled events for their project-based learning courses. They have got proposals in Project Catalyst, so do search on Project Catalyst for Gimbal Labs and vote up all their projects. I endorse all of them. They're great. They're building out a learning management system called Andamio, and that will allow anybody, it's open source, that will anybody who's willing to put together education material to build their course on top of Andamio. And so I've got a proposal in Fund 10, Project Catalyst, asking for funding to build out some stake pool operator business learning into an SBO academy built on top of Andamio. So again, you can look at my proposals and vote for those if you are registered for Project Catalyst. A bit of a plug for me too. And I'll drop these links into the chat and into the Discord server, my Discord server as well. And then these are my project proposals. So if you have registered to vote, check out my proposals. You need something to do. And of course, you're incentivized to vote, so it's worth doing just because you get money for free by doing it. But it's also good to start looking at some of these proposals that are out there and investigating some of the ideas that people are wanting to contribute to the space and actually spend other people's, the network's money to fund ideas that you value. The best Project Catalyst proposal explorer in my mind at the moment is Lido Nation's Explorer. So if you're wanting to start to read and learn about proposals, and there are 1,500 of them in Fund 10, there's a lot to look at, a lot of ideas out there, then you can start to look through here. And so, for example, you could search for Gimbal Labs on here, and it'll filter rapidly for all the projects that are by Gimbal Labs themselves, or using their Andamio platform, or partners to Gimbal Labs. And you might want to filter it by, or pre-filtered by Fund 10 now as well, which is good. If you are a visual learner, then you can jump to, get things out of the way, jump to the quick pitch view in Lido Nation, and that filters your choices down massively. There's only 24 rather than 1,500, and you can then evaluate some of the projects by looking at short videos that they've produced. I should have mine on there. I don't yet, but I do plan to. We've got a couple of weeks of voting to go through still anyway. But so this is Darlington and his Lady Lido, as he called her, Stephanie. They produce a whole load of extremely good content project apps and they educate, and they're also giving to developing nations. And they built out this whole Explorer, Project Catalyst Explorer. So do pay attention to their proposals. And Gimbal Labs, Clarity DAO presented at Town Hall on Wednesday. They're building DAO tooling for decentralized autonomous organizations, which are actually the new businesses, the new private entities like businesses. These guys, they actually presented in the Idea Fest, which I was hosting for. I was one of the hosts for. So I was in room 3 on Saturday and Sunday last weekend. And these Learn and Earn Web3 education platform guys, they were one of the presenters in my room. And they're worth a look. Dow Jen also presented in my room. They're worth a look too. I think these guys were in there. I don't know whether they presented this project in my room, but certainly these are really good, really solid team. So Randall and Curtis are involved within DAO tooling as well, and they're building some great stuff as well. Randall is also primary developer behind some other great projects like DMU Music Protocol. He's a core developer. And that's sort of like we were talking about Book.io doing that for the publishing industry. Then DMU is doing similar for the music industry. So artists can actually launch their music on a platform, a decentralized platform protocol, and earn from plays of their music, and also sales of their music on a secondary market basis. A whole lot of really good stuff in here. DMU has some proposals as well, actually. So yeah, you can see DMU. Go and have a look at their videos, read their proposals. Good thing to do. If you want to see mine as well, you can search for Fluid 7. That should bring up my proposals. Proposal in Fund 10 is impact SPOs, accountable and verified. That's what I want to do for stake pool operators, is to and charitable giving in developing nations, is to bring about transparency or higher exposure for stake pool operators who are giving, who are based in impact projects, and also do vetting of the charities they're giving to make sure that actually the money that is going into charitable giving from Cardano is tracked, is measured, so we know exactly the impact we're making on the world, and that it's having it, it's hitting the people where it's needed, rather than getting cut out in middleman activity, which is a big point of blockchain, is to remove the middleman for any system. So my idea around that is to introduce charity vetting projects like B1G1, who vet the charities and actually run a sort of an escrow service for giving. So you as an individual give to them, and they ensure the money goes to the projects on the ground, and they're all small projects and they're vetted. So if a project starts to if a charity starts to default on its commitments, then the money flow stops, and you don't have to look and monitor and keep an eye on those small details. That's a worthwhile service in my mind, and again can operate in a fully decentralized manner. SBO Online Business Academy is another proposal of mine, to help build some pathways to viability for small stake pool operators, because there's really, for a stake pool operator to be viable, they need to have more than just their pool up and out there. You need to actually do some marketing to get people to know about your pool, which is a very, very difficult call for most people who run stake pools, because they're all technicals, they're all geeks, engineers, not very good at talking about themselves, a bit like me. So this is a way to leverage some of the tools on the blockchain, like Optim's stake pool operator bonds, where you can borrow ADA to boost the stake in your pool and start minting blocks earlier. So we've just minted our 54th block, or is it 55th now? Primarily because of the initiatives I've found and got involved with, like the Extra Small Stake Pool Alliance rotating delegation. Shout out to those guys. So we're on 55 blocks now. And then the other blocks that I've minted have been down to having the Optim Finance bond, which gave me 1 million ADA stake to the pool, which then takes me from having, you know, a base level of about 400,000 ADA to 1,400, which means that we mint blocks every epoch now. And so the last 2 epochs, we've minted 3 blocks in each, which is really cool. And then this epoch, we've minted a new one already. So yeah, we are healthily producing blocks, which is great, which means that the rewards are coming to us more routinely rather than sporadically, which is the case for small stake pools. It's hard to stay for people, for delegators to stay incentivized. But overall, over the year, then all pools should yield about the same 3.5% APR. One other thing that's happening soon is that I mentioned the ADA stat, sorry, not the ADA stat, the Cardano Foundation stake pool operator poll, which happened a month or so ago. I'm going to switch this to dark mode because it doesn't hurt my eyes so much. And AdaStat built out the Explorer to see the results of that poll. And basically, stake pool operators were able to vote on what their opinion is and how we change the stake pool parameters for K and min pool cost. These are technical parameters on chain that affect how rewards are issued to delegators. So the K parameter determines how many stake pool operators are optimal for the blockchain to run. So at the moment, we've got about 3,500 stake pool operators. The parameters are set to benefit 500 of them. So unless you're in that top 500, you're not really making any, you're not being incentivized to a level to break even by running a pool. So you need to get into top 500. The proposal was to increase that to 1,000 to be more inclusive to more pools that are running at a loss. But that's not going ahead just yet because the poll's finished and a parameter committee is taking the final decision, and they've said they're not going to do the 1,000 one yet, but they are going to reduce the min pool cost from 340 to 170 ADA. The way the min pool cost works is that the first block that gets minted every epoch by a pool, 340 ADA of the rewards for that go to the operator to pay for the infrastructure costs. And then any ADA earned above that goes to all the delegators of the pool. And so there is a portion that's carved off for paying for all the computers that run the network. There is a disadvantage to small pool operators because they don't mint. They, sometimes will mint less than 1 block per epoch. And, even in that first block, the rewards, the bulk of it are going to infrastructure rather than to rewarding delegators. So, that is one benefit that a large pool has over small pool operators, is that they can promise more rewards more regularly than the smallest of pools. And so by halving that 340 ADA down to 170, that levels the playing field to a greater degree. So I voted for that change. I also voted for the 1,000 K parameter change. But it's at the moment that's only going to be the min pool cost one, and that's going to happen at epoch 432. So at the moment we're on epoch 430. Is that right? So an epoch in Cardano is every 5 days. So we've got a day or half a day left in epoch 430, and then 431 will start, and then 5 days later 432 will start, and there will be a parameter change written to the blockchain parameters at the start of epoch 432, which will then halve the min pool cost. Oh, click the right buttons. So it will knock the 340 ADA down to 170 ADA. This was a flawed poll in many ways, because there were two parameters being talked about, so you couldn't really express your opinion on a single of those easily, and the interpretation of the numbers was very open to subjectivity. So not ideal, but a good first foray into actually hearing the community's opinions on parameters, rather than just it coming down from the engineers, the academics in IOG and those bodies. So yeah, we will be seeing a change to the parameters that has been influenced by a community poll, which is exciting. It shows that governance is starting to happen to a degree. But there's a whole load more work we need to do before this is actually something that I would trust long term. But it's a good first step. So yeah, well done to everyone involved. And that about wraps up any of the set material I got for today. We've got 3 minutes until we hit the top of the hour, which is when I normally wind up the call. So if you do have any last minute questions or anything you want me to look at or give my opinion on, pipe up now. Otherwise, I think we can probably wrap up the call for today. So yeah, do check out your vote power. I've got the double check your vote power is correct. The snapshot will be taken at 9 p.m. UTC tonight. So your vote power will, any ADA that you would gather after that point won't go towards your vote. There's a tutorial here on this blog post for actually making sure that your vote power is what you expect it to be. So whether you've registered correctly and all the rest of it. And that's a good way of doing it. And yeah, there is a more technical thing that I did do this week as well, but I won't talk about that because I don't think this is the audience. But if you are a stake pool operator or a command line user, then I have another tutorial that I'll drop into the Discord that will show you how to aggregate all your ADA across multiple wallets, whether they're soft wallets, hardware wallets, or command line wallets, into a single vote key, which is a useful thing to do. So if you need to do that today, in the next 12 hours, you can follow the tutorial on my blog as well. So that was probably the last thing I'll mention. Good. Well, thanks for joining. Any last questions, or should we wrap up?
Thank you very much.
Cool. We'll wrap up. All right. Thanks. This happens every Friday, so do join again and join me on Discord. All right. Thanks. See you all. Bye.
Thank you very much. See you. Bye.